Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind, Season 7. Let's check it out.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
How are you?
It's a nervous moment, an awkward moment inherently, but what's up? What's up? How are you? You'd think you'd have some prepared openers. Maybe he did prepare that. I don't know.
I love that. That's perfect. I love that about her.
You nervous?
I was so nervous. Probably more nervous than you are.
You think?
Yeah.
Am I what you expected me to look like?
Of course.
Really?
Of course. I mean, you already knew what I was going to look like, right?
Well, I don't know if she did. I don't know what she sees. I don't know if she sees Henry Cavill, but he also answered the question, she said, do I look like what you think I was going to look like? And he said, of course. And, who knows what he means by of course? Maybe he's just saying, I knew that I would love what I see. I don't know. But we've seen a lot of people have these conversations, and I don't think we've ever heard that before, of course. Most people say, I didn't know what I was going to see. I like what I see, but I didn't have any vision. I think it would be hard to have a vision, right? It's sort of like when you listen to a podcast or the radio and you don't know what the speaker looks like, and you get to know the person over time. And you might have at least for me, I have a vague picture, like the color of their hair or something, maybe the chin line sort of vaguely forming in my head. It's always wrong, but I think it would be normal for people to just have almost no idea, even if they did have some descriptors to go off of. But instead he says, of course, which I don't know what he means by that, but it is in line with the Rico Suaviness that people were reacted to, which is him saying what he thinks other people want to hear and being overly complimentary in a way that might exhibit how he feels, but also might be trickery or just a desperation of some sort. But then he says, "You knew what I look like," and she's so let's see how this goes.
Well, there you go.
In the pod, he described himself as like a football player, like bigger, medium build, like 5'11", and what he said I don't think was really truthful. Okay, Nikki D, Mr. Suave.
Okay. So they could have edited that. She might have quickly said, and I don't care because he is handsome, or that's not really my priority. I don't know. But she is acknowledging that he painted a different picture. It's Megan Fox all over again.
It is making me feel a little bit insecure because I feel like I'm bigger than him. And like when a guy's smaller than me, like it's not even a me thing, but I know that men start to feel like emasculated by that.
Okay, so she said in the hallway before the doors open that she is worried that he won't like what he sees, that she isn't petite, and she's worried about that. We'll see how that plays out. And she also said that she didn't want to see a guy who was really small that she could fit inside her pocket or something. And she is saying that once again, she is putting the desire, the want in someone else, not in herself. Because she started off by saying, I don't want someone that's small. I don't want to be bigger than the guy. But then she frames it, maybe because it is that way for her, in the other person's mind. She's like, well, I know that for men, they're emasculated by that. I thought we were going to hear a want from her, how she feels about something. Like, I don't want a guy who is smaller than me. But she, references other people. Emasculation is such an interesting topic. I'm trying to think of a time when I thought that emasculation or someone feeling emasculated was healthy. I'm trying to think of any circumstance. Anecdotally, or the top of my head, every time someone says or is thinking or worried about emasculation, I am always thinking that it's just a manifestation of insecurity and indoctrination into gender stereotypes and propaganda. toxic masculinity being one. This notion of being emasculated if you're a heterosexual man, if your wife were to earn more money than you, or was the same size as you, or was stronger than you, or better than you physically. I don't know why this popped in my head, but my wife is more coordinated than I am, and it doesn't usually come to being tested, but she's a natural athlete, and we did, for my mom's birthday a while back, those where they simulate what it's like to skydive, and there's this big fan, and there's a instructor in there kind of help. And Stacy took, they describe it to you how you're supposed to do it. There's a technique on how to stay aloft, and not fly all over the place. It looks easy from the outside, but it is not, because I struggled with it. My wife just immediately took to it, and she was, before long, she was flying all over the place. And I never got a hold of it. Just the whole time I'm like, and also like the wind is so intense that you have all your tear ducts, or the water in your eyes is like, anyway. But I'm not emasculated by that. Why would that take away my masculinity because she's more coordinated than I am at something? Like, who cares? Plus, who cares about my masculinity? Who said that was important? What? And plus, who gets to define my masculinity, and how do we define it, right? I could talk about this for a long time. But anyway, so she's pointing out that he doesn't look like the way he was portraying, which I would say I agree with.
Like a foot taller than me. I've never dated someone shorter than me. Something new. But that's what this experience is to try something new and something different of what you would maybe date in the real world.
I like when you sit back and look at me. That's cute.
Yeah, just kind of take a look.
Yeah, I'm checking you out. Is this like your natural hair color?
Well, I went a little blonder, but yeah, it's pretty...
There's always awkwardness. I don't know if I'm just looking for it or it's highlighted or something, but is this a natural hair color? I'm noticing that he's going back to the Rico Suave persona, which I think he does when he's nervous, which he would say in the very first episode that he was viscerally scared and anxious and terrified, but it wasn't showing, at least in the edit, and I think he's resorting to that.
Yeah, I'm naturally blonde too. I just had to dye my hair for this.
I could totally tell, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a little blonde streaking.
You see, yeah, there's probably some gray.
You better not be having gray hair at 28, sir.
I do.
Jiminy crickets. And now I'm wondering if they both don't like, or she doesn't like what she sees. Or they're just awkward. Or like Irina in season 4, either they're not really invested in the relationship, or they're barely invested, or they're just not old enough to really comprehend what they're committing to. I mean, that's a stupid thing to say. Of course they comprehend, but they are, I don't know, they took a leap of faith based on the way things kind of felt, but they didn't really know what they were feeling. I mean, they're not super young, but they both give off a vibe of people that don't have a lot of experience. They don't have as many experiences as some of these other folks, like Taylor and Garrett, for example. Although Taylor is 29, she's barely older than these two. That's surprising. Nick is 28, Hannah's 26. Why is there such a difference there? I don't know.
For you, you're so young.
Oh yeah, I'm so young. The ripe age of 26.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm not as beautiful as you.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm. You're gorgeous. And you have a beautiful soul. You know that.
And you have a beautiful soul.
Thank you. This was everything I could have asked for.
Yeah.
You're everything I could have asked for.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Someone should do a study where they just show the hallway footage, and they're pretty good about not editing anything out of the hallway footage, which is interesting to think about, because Frankenstein edit almost everything else, but this, they just let it linger for better or for worse. And I wonder if you showed this footage without showing anything, find people who've never seen the show and you show them 20 or, I don't know, a number of hallway meetings. Maybe half of the hallway meetings are people that end up married and are still married today, and another half do not end up married, or they get married. Yeah, let's say they don't get married. And you ask the participants to either predict if they're going to get married or rate the awkwardness level or the type of awkwardness or maybe the closeness, the vibe, the chemistry that you detect. Because I don't know if I'm just biased because I've seen them up until this point, but the way that they vibe in person together is not encouraging for a yes, or even making it to the altar. Do you know what I mean? I'd be so curious because there's a chance that outside observers, there would be no signal there. They would have no ability watching the hallway to predict, or there's no differences there. Because it's possible that even the good ones, like we just saw Tim and Alex, right? They were also pretty goofy. In fact, I didn't show this, but Tim was real goofy, like jokey in the hallway. And he was like getting sexual, and Alex was like, okay, that's enough of that stuff. But anyway, what do you think? Do you think we could tell based on how it feels to us as viewers in terms of their chemistry when they meet? And, another thing I've thought about, and I think I thought about this with Irina, I don't think it really applies to her, but when I saw that scene, I think that there's a chance that you take 10 couples who genuinely are in love with each other, they meet in the hallway, and you take 5, and for whatever reason, even though if they met under normal circumstances, things would be okay. But there's something about the hallway that just things go, someone says the wrong thing, or they trip, or they forget something, or they're too nervous, and something goes a little awry from one direction. And then that sets off a number of cascading behaviors and reactions where by the time they separate from the hallway and they have a few days to think before they see each other in person on the getaway, they've fallen out of love with each other. Because it's kind of like a first impression, right? And they can be deeply in love and have that love dismantled very quickly because the love isn't very foundational to them, right? It's new. So that also makes me wonder, do we just retrospectively say, they never really had any chemistry? Or is it just kind of like bad luck, essentially, that they just are goofy, or they're reading each other wrong, or the cameras are too much, or they're both too nervous, or they have indigestion?
Wow. Gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm like, this is so crazy.
I know, isn't it?
I'm so happy to be here with you.
Me too. You are gorgeous.
Okay, we haven't seen much of these two, Stephen and Monica, right? And they have seemingly good heads on their shoulders, but who knows? I've been wrong before, but they are engaged and meeting in the hallway, and they are liking what they're seeing. It's also just, I imagine, overwhelming, right? And she's exhibiting that anxiety, I think, viscerally. I think she's maybe having a little bit of a panic attack, which I totally understand. It's an overwhelming experience. Plus, the cameras, they know that they're being filmed all the time, but in the pods, they know that very little of the footage is going to be included, whereas they know that this is going to be included. Plus, I wonder if they actually can see all the cameras, and it's very much like a stage, and it's so intense. You get to finally see the person that you absolutely are totally in love with for the very first time. You have no idea what they look like, and you're also trying to present yourself well to this person. And it's also a bit of a stranger because you've never seen them. They'll often say things like, I'm trying to match your voice with what I'm seeing right now, because it's weird. Like I when I hear you talk and I close my eyes, it's you. But when I open my eyes, it takes a while to adjust. And so I think she's having a bit of a little panic attack, which I think I would be too.
I knew it. I knew you was fine. I knew it. Hello. Hello. How are you?
All right. Tim and Alex are meeting, and she said she was worried that he might have a different type, that she might not be his type. So he said that she's hot, so we're all good. All right, I want to remind everyone that we have a website, psychologyinseattle.com, of course, and there can be some fun things on there, some pictures and about us kind of stuff. There's also a list of all of our audio episodes, links to articles and stuff, if you care. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.